So 3 months ago I did a video on 3 Jacques Fath fragrances. Turned out really great. We ended up with a full bottle winner in that video. In fact, I even posted a photo with the winner. But today I'm back with another video for 4 Jacques Fath fragrances this time, and we're focusing on floral fragrances from the house of Jacques Fath, and we do have another giveaway as well. So if you want to find out about 4 floral fragrances from Jacques Fath and have a chance at winning a full bottle of one of the fragrances, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, I did a video 3 months ago on 3 fragrances from Jacques Fath, and those 3 fragrances are Velours Boisé, Belle Ambre, Tempête d'Automne. But back with you today with another video for Jacques Fath fragrances, because guess what? They are now selling Jacques Fath fragrances over at Neiman Marcus, which is awesome. But the 4 fragrances I'm going to tell you about is Lilas Exquis, Red Shoes, LOree Du Bois, Rosso Epicurio. All focusing on flowers, but different flowers. And you know, not all of them are like heavily about flowers. They have other things happening with them, but really wonderful fragrances from this house. I really like Jacques Fath fragrances, and I'm going to let you know about 4 of those fragrances, the floral fragrances. And after I let you know about the fragrances, I'm also going to let you know how I rank the list of fragrances so that you can find out which one is my favorite. They all smell great, of course, but I can't love them all equally, could I? So I'll let you know all about them, and then also give you the chance to participate in a full bottle giveaway. But before I get to the fragrances, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do click the subscribe button below, and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So I do want to let you know I have a link to Jacques Fath fragrances in the info box. You can go there and shop for fragrances, and I have to say they do ship really, really fast. Amazing fast shipping all the way from France, and they ship worldwide, which is awesome. But also, as I said, if you're in the USA, you can also go to Neiman Marcus to check out their fragrances, as they are now selling at Neiman Marcus. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with this house. Jacques Fath used to be a fashion house, but it's no longer fashion, obviously. But a lot of the fragrances are named after different clothing items that were designed by Jacques Fath. But as I said, no more Jacques Fath for clothing. It is now a niche fragrance house. All they do is fragrances. And I'm going to start out with the first fragrance that I recently featured in a lilac fragrances video. This is Lilas Exquis, which translates to exquisite lilac. Obsessed with this one, and I really like lilac in fragrances. It's not a note that I really enjoyed up until about a year ago when I started buying the flowers, and the flowers are really, really amazing and they smell great. So I always thought, is there a way to have a really wonderful lilac fragrance? And this is definitely one that doesn't disappoint. So this fragrance and 2 others are created by Luca Maffei. One of the fragrances is created by Cecile Zarokian. And I believe a lot of the fragrances from Jacques Fath are either created by Cecile Zarokian or Luca Maffei. So if you're fans of those perfumers, you should definitely check out this particular house for their fragrance. But Lilas Exquis is created by Luca Maffei, and this features notes of bergamot, hyacinth, blueberry for top notes, lilac, violet cream accord, magnolia, linden blossom for heart notes, base notes, ambrette absolute, timbersilk, ambroxan, musk. So what is timbersilk, by the way? Timbersilk is like ISOE Super. And then if you're familiar with ISOE Super, it's definitely going to go woody, but this also features another synthetic molecule. It's got the ambroxan note in the base, so it's definitely a musky experience. But up top, it's also lots of hyacinth. In fact, I think this could have been called Hyacinth Exquis, because I don't know if that's the way they say it in France though, hyacinth. But the hyacinth is pretty prominent here. And I love the smell of hyacinth, because hyacinth always reminds me of spring and Easter, because around that time is when they put out those flowers at the grocery stores. And when you're walking by them, they're really, really fragrant flowers. Smells fantastic, you know. It's here, definitely here. But it's a nice fusion of the hyacinth, which comes in at the top with the bergamot, and very light blueberry. In fact, I don't get much blueberry here. It's very, very faint for me. And then, of course, the lilac and the heart. The top is mostly about the hyacinth, and the heart is mostly about the lilac. But there is that violet cream accord that they call here. It is a little bit of a violet-y touch in there, but really prominently I also get lots of linden blossom. It's almost like linden blossom complements the lilacs beautifully, because they kind of remind me of one another faintly, not totally, but yeah, faintly they kind of remind me of one another for flowers. So that's what the heart's all about here. And then of course it does get musky. This has got lots of different musky touches. Ambrette is in the base, the Timbersilk, the Ambroxan, and Musk. So it's a great dry down with the lilac-y note and the hyacinth note standing out in the top and the heart notes. This is a really delicious fragrance. One of the better lilac fragrances that I have in the collection. And also you should go check out the lilac fragrances video, because I did feature this one there. I think it's a fantastic smell and perfect to wear spring and summer. In fact, this one to me I think is even better for summer wear, because it wears very beautifully and when it's really warm outside. Everything just comes alive and blooms and intensifies with the heat. So check that out, Lilas Exquis from Jacques Fath. That's the first fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today. That one is created by Luca Maffei, as I said. So the next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is another really beautiful fragrance here from this collection, and this time we're going to the only Cecile Zarokian fragrance I'm talking about today. This is Red Shoes. It's also the only English named fragrance. We've got 2 French, 1 English, and then we have an Italian name as well. So Red Shoes to me is a very fizzy, berry fruity concoction. If you like fragrances like Rouge Trafalgar, Malagrano, things like that, which is full of berry notes, you're definitely going to like this one. But what they have here in this fragrance is lots of what do you call it, aldehydes. So there's a very fizzy, soda-like, sparkly effervescence running throughout the fragrance, which is really cool. So Cecile Zarokian created Red Shoes, and it features notes of red berries, blackcurrant, grapefruit, aldehydes for top notes. Heart notes features rose, geranium, ginger, pink pepper. Base notes patchouli, cashmere, wood, musks. Once again here, I think the reason I really like this one is a beautiful combination of fruity berry notes with patchouli and aldehydes. The patchouli really is stand out for me here, and I like that contrast. It adds this earthy, woody, and a little bit of effervescence, sparkliness in here. Not as much as what the aldehydes is providing, but definitely is there. With this one, it's lots of red berries. I think that's what really stands out with the grapefruit. It's juicy, little bitter, very zingy, and very citrusy combined with the red berries. Blackcurrant is also very prominent. Here with the blackcurrant, it does kind of hint at fragrances like L'Ombre dans l'eau from Diptyque and things like that. So if you like those kind of berryish kind of touches, it's there. And of course rose comes in as well, and it hints at those kind of fragrances. It doesn't get overly green, but it is a little on the green side, and of course it settles to woods. Definitely a wonderful fragrance. Once again, it's very fresh. It's very invigorating and sparkly, and of course perfect to wear when it's warm outside. This, along with the Lilas Exquis, are really great fragrances to wear when it's really warm and humid. We did have a heat wave, which is thankfully gone, but I pulled these out just before I'm shooting this video to test them out, and they wore beautifully when it's really kind of humid outside. So Red Shoes, and I already told you about Lilas Exquis. A great scent. I love wearing that one because I like it fruity and fresh, and that's definitely fruity and fresh. So the next one I'm going to talk to you about is the Italian named fragrance called Rosso Epicurio, which basically means Epicurean red. This is once again created by Luca Maffei. This again also is one that you can totally wear when it's warm outside, but this one seems has a little more depth. It's not as fresh as the other two, so you got to be warned. And it does get very lightly animalic a little bit, not a lot, so just be warned with that one. But Rosso Epicurio, created by Luca Maffei, features Key Royale Accord, which has notes of blackcurrant, davana, Sichuan pepper, bitter orange, bergamot, plum for top notes. Heart notes features tuberose, rose, orange blossom, jasmine, ylang ylang, base notes, patchouli, amber, vanilla, muscone. So Rosso Epicurio does have that kind of light, fruity Key Royale type touch at the top. Fruity, a little boozy, and a little spicy blast. But for me, what really runs the show here is the tuberose. As soon as you spray it, you get a little bit of those touches of the Key Royale accord with some citruses, and then that tuberose just takes over. It's like an overdose of tuberose, but a beautiful combination of tuberose. A spicy tuberose, but I think I'm getting the spices from the Key Royale accord, which has lots of spices there. But you do get some rose in here as well, and of course some orange blossom touches. But it settles to a nice, beautiful ambery, vanillic, musky base. But once again, you do experience the patchouli here. The patchouli is not as prominent as it is in red shoes, but definitely here because the tuberose in this fragrance is overwhelming. Lots of it. Overdose of tuberose. It smells fantastic. It's a great smelling tuberose. And again, you can wear this one in the summertime when it's hot outside, but I found this particular fragrance wears a little heavier than the other two, which kind of might get a little overwhelming, so test it out yourself. But it's delicious. It's a really, really delicious tuberose. If you like white flowers, if you like tuberose fragrances, if you like things like Carnal Flower from Frederick Malle, doesn't smell alike, just the tuberose in here reminds me of the tuberose there. I think you should definitely check it out, especially if you're a white flower lover. But then that very top note of that Key Royale accord, the fruits and the spices thing, really does this interesting thing right when you spray it, but then that tuberose just totally takes over and just really takes over and becomes beautifully white and floral. I think you can totally wear this one in the summertime. Just control your sprays with this one. So Rosso Epicurio is another great scent that focuses on flowers from Jacques Fath. And the fourth fragrance, I left this one to the end to discuss with you at the last fragrance because I felt like this is, to me, even though it's flowers, it wears like it's an autumn fall fragrance. There's something kind of like fall foliage like experience I'm getting from this one. So it made it act like it would be perfect for fall. I don't know, just like walking in the woods when you're experiencing fall foliage and everything is kind of dried up. I get that kind of an experience. But this one focuses on mimosa flower, which should be more spring-like normally. But for me, as I said, it was acting more like fall foliage, which is kind of cool because I like that kind of smell, sagebrush and, weeds and greens all dried up, and you're like walking through them and you're breaking them down, and then there's fragrance releasing from that stuff. That's kind of what it reminds me of. But this is, once again, Luca Maffei created fragrance. This is LOree Du Bois, which basically means the edge of the wood. Maybe that's what it is, because I get a very woody consistency with this one. A lot of woods, especially even though it has the mimosa flower, it's very woody to me. But for top notes, we have bergamot, yellow mandarin, neroli. Heart notes, mimosa flower, orange blossom, broom flower, ylang ylang. Base notes is something they call gold accord, which features notes of cumin, saffron, cinnamon, with cashmere, sandalwood, honey, amber, and musks. So as soon as you spray it, it is of course citrusy right up top, but for me, mimosa just takes over with this one, along with the orange blossom. So you have that citrusy touch with the mimosa flower, which is fun. You do experience the mimosa flower here as it would be, but as the fragrance is drying down, you're getting that kind of like fall foliage, like prominence here. And I think what's causing that is this gold accord. They've created an accord called Gold Accord with cumin, saffron, and cinnamon, and I think it's a delicious combination of notes together that reminds me of fall foliage. Just as I was saying, walking through woods, leaves, bushes, and things like that. And it gets very fragrant in the fall here in the Bay Area or Northern California, where I've walked through many Indian summertime through woods, and you're walking through them, you're breaking them down, and you can smell that fragrant smell of the woods and the weeds and things like that. That's what this reminds me of, although it's created with cumin, saffron, and cinnamon, so it spices more, but I think overall, mixed with the mimosa, I'm getting that experience of like dried herbs, weeds, sagebrush, and woods and leaves and things like that. So I think it's a really, really great scent. It is definitely a little less intense than Rosso Epicurio, because I felt like this out of all four is the most intense. It wears the most intense, and I think maybe it's the tuberose. I think it's an overwhelming tuberose smell, so it's definitely for the tuberose lover. Here it does wear a little lighter, but those spices do come in and mix with the mimosa. That's when I'm getting this whole combination of fall foliage experience. It's very, very interesting because whenever I smell mimosa, it reminds me of spring. And this one to me, even though up top it does, as it's developing, it's more fall foliage, as I said. Because mimosa to me has a very kind of baby powdered, soft, and also a little light honeyed touches. And this, of course, has honey in the notes, but together, the combination of everything, I'm getting dried flowers, which is kind of cool, as I said. So LOree Du Bois, the edge of the wood, is what it translates to. And of course, it does get woody, as I said. This does dry down to lots of woods. And then, of course, it's properly named. I had to look up the name LOree Du Bois, and it definitely translates perfectly, the edge of the wood. Anyway, LOree Du Bois is the fourth fragrance I'm going to talk to you about today. Every single fragrance smells great for what it is, but I'm going to go with my number one favorite as Lilas Exquis, Exquisite Lilac. It's definitely great. I like this floral fragrance because it has the gorgeous lilac note, but it also has that hyacinth. It's a great smell. The two together work wonderfully. And as I was saying with this one, there's also the lime or linden blossom note here in the heart note. And I think linden blossom complements the lilac as well. So those three notes are perfect in this fragrance. And of course, in the dry down, it's lots of musks. And I think they just work wonderfully together. So this would be my number one pick. Lilas Exquis. Red Shoes would be my second because I really like those kind of fragrances which remind me of Melagrana from Bottega Veneta, Rouge Trafalgar from Dior. It's a very fruity, fizzy, uplifting, effervescent kind of an experience, which this one is. It's very, very fun. Fruity fragrances tend to be fun, especially when they're fresh as well. I would say that LOree Du Bois would be my third favorite, just because it's a very unique mimosa fragrance. And I'll say it again, mimosa reminds me of the spring. This mimosa here reminds me of the fall. And then finally, Rosso Epicurio would be my fourth favorite out of the bunch. And this is not a bad fragrance. It's loads of tuberose, and it's an overwhelming dosage of tuberose. I think perfect for the tuberose lover. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Jacques Fath floral fragrances. Have you tried these fragrances, guys? Are you a fan of the Jacques Fath house? Let me know. Put a comment down so I can find out. As I said, these are now selling at Neiman Marcus. Online. I've seen them there. I was shopping recently. I saw them there. But I do have a link to the Jacques Fath Perfumes website in the info box. You can click that link and go to their website. And as I said, they do ship really fast. These were sent to me really, really quickly. And of course, these were sent to me for this specific review. I requested them. I had sampled these quite a while ago at various events I had gone to, and definitely top-notch releases from this house. On to the giveaway now. The giveaway would be 50 ml bottles. I do have a larger bottle here of the Rosso Epicurio, but it would be a size like this. What you want to do to participate in the giveaway is to make sure you're subscribed to this channel and put down what you liked about this video, and then also please let me know which fragrance sounds the best to you and why. Of course, please put down your state if you're in the USA, or put down your country if you're outside of the USA. And thanks so much for tuning in to watch this video. Let me know if you're a fan of this house, if you like the fragrances from this house, which is your favorite fragrance from this house, or which one does sound great to you. I'd like to find out. Other than that, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.